Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Before I get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like or comment on my video, and most of all, consider subscribing to the channel. Now, this video is a bit late. Unfortunately, yesterday a lightning storm hit my area and it took out the internet, it took out the power, so I couldn't upload another video or even log into the game. So, this is actually going to be following up on what I did yesterday. Yesterday, I actually criticized the event that was put into the game, and I'm actually going to go through a little bit more and explain a few of the other things to think about within the gameplay. Now, within the gameplay right now was the introduction of the interdiction spheres. However, this isn't going to be the last event added in for the game because right now we are in event season basically. You follow Halloween up by a Black Friday special. Generally, that's how most of them go because that's called the period of Thanksgiving. So during that, there's going to be the Thanksgiving event. Eve might jump on the wagon and try and compete with the Thanksgiving event in the game, or they may actually just wait out until a Christmas event at the end of the year. But nonetheless, there are two events still to come. And this is where it is my say going through to give them a good suggestion. The next event, give the players a chance to get blueprints or give the players a chance to get ships which they can't normally get. And yes, I know it is super expensive and super rare, but considering the rate of loss, most of the players will lose any ships that you give them within a matter of days. So open out the Modus Legion, open out the Kenyu official ship, open out all of your ships for a few days. Give players a chance to get a hold of blueprints that they can't acquire right now in the game. Allow a point system, allow a quick amount of event monsters to appear in both high and low sec with a small percentage chance to pick up a ship within the boxes. Trust me, you put that in the game, I guarantee you there'll be players who quit the game coming back next week playing it as hard can be to always get what they want. And this is the actual fact about it. When I lose a ship, the only thing I'm thinking about is how do I replace it and how far back has this set me back. And to be honest, I lose a ship about once every 2 weeks now. Previously, it used to be a ship a week or a ship every few days. But that's because I used to play very recklessly, and now I've had to reduce my reckless playstyle and I've had to give up building super ships. And yeah, it may not seem like the best thing to do in the world, but it is something to do and it does really affect how well I can play the game. Now, as I am moving about at this moment in the game, I'm actually thinking about what could come out with the next event. And as you can see, this is in game. And if you want to see some gameplay, I am actually going to go and do a few solo event monsters. The reason why I haven't actually put up any footage is the players who I've been in teams with at the moment have clearly said they don't want to, they they do mind if I record a video, so they will not show up in any of those videos. It is a standard way in which I do it. If I ask you to come and join me for a YouTube video and stream, then I will show it, but if I don't, I will not show it at all. Now, considering that this is going to be my build for now, I'll just go through it while I'm in it, right? As you can see, I'm using the Cyclone. And the reason why my Cyclone is set up like this is actually because I'm building it up for more war orientated play, and it's something that I will do on a constant base. Now, this is a battle Cyclone, it's actually meant for a slight PvP. However, it doesn't have its final set of fittings, so it isn't at that 100% PvP status. And as you can see, things are now getting set in. Don't worry about that. The second three is just a bogus piece on there. All of them are stacked together, as you can see. Now, these are the small glitches and things that are happening within the game, and yes, I do take off with the devs when things glitch out and are unfair. And especially when I'm testing things out and I know that there's a chance that I can replace things, I still will complain heavily towards the devs for things that go wrong within the game. Now, let's talk about the next two events that they could launch in further detail. Now, coming up is the Black Friday, basically Thanksgiving event. Now, Thanksgiving is an American holiday and it's mainly something that happens in America. If they want to target their American audience, this is their chance. So let's give them a suggestion. Let's give the devs a very good idea for this event. Something they can actually throw in that is going to help out the gameplay, make players feel happy. Now, here's what they can do. Obviously, they're not going to go and throw in another massive aspect of PvP into the game. It'll be too soon and it'll be pushing up the game too far. But how about something that balances against everybody? Something that helps you in PvP, PvE, something that sells for a lot of ISK, something that is valuable for the player to keep and use themselves, and overall everything that goes with it. Now, Thanksgiving has a lot of its own decorations that go with it, turkey and gravy and wine. Those are all of the things that they can use around the decoration themes. So let's talk about what you're going to be able to put in for those events. Now, as I have explained previously, the Modus Legion, we already see that the ship is designed and ready to be put into the game. That is, the Orithus, the Bellicose, and the frigate from the Modus Legion is also available. So what could the devs do? Well, the devs could do something as simple as this. Let's open out the ship tree. Now, the Yanjiang, the Modus Legion, and the Sisters of Eve don't have any way of giving us their blueprints as yet in game, and as a result, it means that a lot of players don't get this type of things added into their gameplay. But let's talk about a quick throwaway that they can do to actually generate a buzz and pull in a massive audience to the game for a few days. And it's just one little thing, right? So adding in the Modus Legion, let's say they just choose the Modus Legion blueprints and ships for that 5-day event, maybe 7-day event. They don't have to run it for very long. They can run it from the Monday all the way to Sunday, 7-day event, a 7-day event, quick and easy within this month. And all they've got to do is as simple as this here. Blueprint for Bellicose available. You can see the ship has already been designed. Everything on it has its stats written in. The Orithus is right here. There's it. Everything is in. Things are all looking right on it. It's ready to go. And what is the frigate? The Gamma, also ready to go. All they have to do is as follows. Set up the event, 3 different level monsters, and scatter the monsters across the map. Make it a limited entry thing to the events. Make it 10 players per event or something like that there. You can only enter with 10 players. Lock it up a little bit. Make sure that only 10 players can enter. And, basically make the chances of someone coming in to pirate the loot in high sec lower, because there's nothing that a person can do if someone just steals from them in the safe zone. And they are in the safe zone, so it shouldn't be a possibility. So open out the events, make it a 10-player jump in maximum. So it's a very safe area. It feels very PvE. And what you're getting out is loot, blueprints for Modus Legion. Something that the whole player base will go crazy for, especially since there's such a massive number of missile users within the game. The second thing that you can do for this is you can send a ton of players in to get in for other things from these little anomalies, blueprints, weird and random ship pieces, ships, all of this within them. Now, the blueprints is one thing for an easy level event, the common chest. The rare chest gives you a small chance of getting the battle cruiser, not the battle cruiser, sorry, giving you a small chance to get the cruiser, like 1 in the entire list chance of you getting it, and also giving you the Gormus. Wait, what is it called? The Gamma, sorry, giving you a chance to get the Gamma. And last but not least, the Bellicose. The Bellicose being so expensive and so extremely rare, throw it into the Precious Box, give one of each ship a high chance of dropping in there, and drop a ton of C-type gear with it. And there's something, all players are going to go crazy for it, they're going to buy it, they're going to sell it on the markets, everything is going to be moving around, the game will have a buzz. High sec will be buzzing non-stop. Players will be trying to get a hold of these chests. Null sec will be a buzz. Corps will go crazy again. They'll be farming so heavy, it's unbelievable. Players will be grabbing the ships. Players will be selling the ships. Everything will be going on non-stop in those sectors. Players will be getting ready to purchase all the materials to build their blueprints. And that's all that you need. Just something that simple to make the game go crazy. Because it isn't in the game and it's only a limited time that it's entering in for before you introduce it with your Modest Legion. And as you explained, the Modest Legion isn't even expected anywhere till February. So it is a massive giveaway just to give these few ships out. And when players grab a hold of it, you got one or two players with it. Maybe you'll set a limit to the number of free ships that are going to drop, like equally to the player base, 2 million ships maximum. It may not be every single player using a ship, but 2 million ships will disappear within no time, especially with players jumping out with the ship instead of using their regular ships, getting caught in gate camps. It's going to be billions of losses, and it's going to be a fast play. And yeah, throw it in, give it a whole move into the market. Heavy and large equipment is going to sell like mad at that point, and you've won over a massive portion of the gameplay. Players are going to be so happy, so excited. There's going to be players buying up equipment and fittings, putting up their best builds for these ships. And that is something you can do. A one-time event to do something like this as the introduction of T8 opens for players, it's going to make players go crazy. Players are just going to jump into the Modest Legion ships and run around. It's going to be something for you to think about. Instead of making it a pure Thanksgiving event, because Thanksgiving is all about gift giving, you can call it the Modest Thanksgiving celebration. Give it something like that. Give it a weird name. Give it something for players to think about. Then you can jump up and let's say for December, it's finally time for Sovereignty. Everything is in. What are you going to throw out in that event in the middle of Sovereignty? Sanctuary guns, defenses for sectors. Hold it off from the Sovereignty update itself. Yeah, I know Sovereignty is meant to give you those territory ownership rights and allow you to fit out your gates, but hold off the gate protections and introduce it with the December update. That is the Christmas to New Year's event. And then you'll have the New Year's event following it up a few weeks later, where you basically can give away citadels and stations. And you might be thinking that will be unfair, but it is absolutely fair. At the point when you're giving it out, it's something that is common for players. However, due to the high number of losses and everything that has impacted the game, these small gains will actually feel huge to the players while they deploy it and lose them all the time. It makes the game tick over a little bit faster. Players will try and cash up their ISK. The market will get flooded with higher end items that normally wouldn't be sold. And this is what you want in the game. You want to drive up your game's wow factor. You want to hear someone jumping into the game from another the stuff saying, this game is the best game I've ever played. There's free ships in it. Yay, it's better than EVE Online. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear that EVE Echoes beat EVE Online. Now, this is just my suggestions, and I do know that the devs have seen a few of my videos. They have actually reported on one or two factors from something that I said, and I'm taking it as a guess that they have definitely seen some things that I said. Now, I hope that they see this as well. Give it a few likes, give it a few comments. Tell me whether my suggestions are good. Something high-end being thrown into the game, only on a limited spectrum. Do you think that it will work, or do you think that it will fail completely? Do you think that type of an event will pull in another 100,000 players, revive a few million players from the quit list? I'm pretty sure that half of them will jump on just to see what's going on. I'm pretty sure that half of them, from the half that jump on, will stay. Those are totally arbitrary. I don't even have a way to guess how many offline players would actually jump back in. Now, yeah, that is something that I have seen. That is something that I am saying. And let's see what happens. The devs have definitely listened. They held off that update for the missiles. And let's see what happens with the next thing. Let them put in the Modest Legion, and with that, they can even introduce their nerfs and buffs. It would be a fantastic way to go with it. A nice big giveaway to the players with a small takeaway from the players. Players will feel more than happy enough to jump in at that rate. Yes, I will give a ton of criticism at that time, but that is the way that it goes. Every decision has criticism to it. Even if they introduce the Modest Legion, there is a criticism that I will have to it, even though it is my own suggestion. That says that I am not open, that I am not just criticizing one way, I criticize everything. I criticize my every decision in gameplay, I criticize the decisions of others as well. And that is the way that you should play. You should be thinking ahead, thinking of every decision that you make for the better part of your gameplay and others around you. And I hope that you all enjoyed this, and thank you all for watching.